What up, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode of What Up, Though Detroit. Fuck, man, what an amazing weekend! What else is there to say besides welcome to the new record, everybody? That's really what it comes down to. Um, I'm here with the normal panel. Like we actually got some extras today. We got some people in here. Neil's still at work, so he's making some moolah. DaeDae's here tonight, so let's introduce DaeDae. DaeDae, where you at? I know you back there somewhere.
What up? What up? It's your boy DaeDae, and welcome to an episode of This is Draft Talk, Sky. This ain't what up though.
Oh shit, this is
You
draft
couple
talk. My
days,
bad.
you couple
Draft
days
talk.
early though. Hey,
I don't even know what show we on, man.
I like the enthusiasm though, man. You kind of gave us a shameless plug to our Friday shows. So yeah, welcome to Draft Talk, and be sure to tune in to What Up Though on Fridays at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
We run so many shows nowadays. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, we do.
We also got Chris, the newest one of the members here of the Detroit Fan Report. Brought him on. Honestly, he knows his shit with the baseball, the football, the hockey. He's full hometown Detroit sports fan all around. So we appreciate you coming on board, bro, and fucking welcome to the family, baby.
Yeah, what up? What up, though? Yeah, it's your man, Chris. C Money, P Money, whatever you want to call it.
P Diddy. Well, I mean,
no Diddy. Next up we got Leo. Yeah, Leo's up next. I know we got him on board. I don't know if he's still driving home. He's on his way. He's gonna make it into his own show regardless of what happens, because he's the expert here in the draft talk arena, I guess to put it. So, Leo, if you're there, give me a hello. What's good? If not, get back to the side panel and we'll get back to you later. Yep, he's still driving, folks.
Yep.
So, next up we got Mike. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what up, y'all, man? I'm glad we're doing this show, man. Let's get to it.
So before we jump into any topics, because I know Neil set up a bunch of topics and all that kind of shit for us, right? I know we talked a little about the draft, right, and everything on the other show and everything, but for your guys' audience and everybody else that can listen, today and that didn't get a chance to listen the other day, quick wrap up. How was the experience? What the hell happened? Give it to me real quick.
All right, I'll go first, man. It was a hell of an experience, man. Seeing all those people turn out like that, it's when the narrative is that Detroit don't know how to turn out for anything, man. It was awesome to see, and everybody got along. I don't remember seeing or hearing of any kind of drama that happened downtown. Fans were cool with fans from other teams. I mean, it was just a blast, and everybody, all the hospitality, every place you stop, bars, food, no matter where you stop, man, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a crazy experience, I'd have to say, at least. Like, just like what you're saying, like there was no bullshit. Like everybody,
best part was no bullshit.
Exactly. Everybody was kosher as fuck with it. So, Chris, how was your time?
I loved it. I got to meet a few people that I hadn't physically met before. It was a great time. We had a great time. And just like any other football game that we've gone to for the Detroit Lions, they showed up in mass. I mean, like you said in the beginning, record-setting days. I mean, what more could you ask from a Lions fan base than to show up in groves of people? And like you guys said, I mean, the interaction, I mean, they had football toss, they had a 40 you could run. I mean, they had everything out there. It was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, I think everybody's experience is going to be pretty much the same here because, like, I didn't see one bad thing again. Mike, you came from a long way, just like Chris. How was the flight in? How was everything? Detroit wound up. How was Waterford?
Man, it went pretty smooth, man. Shout out to the food and the places we went to.
Hell yeah, the food.
Man, we got shot some more places that we went to out, man. Everybody took care of us, treated us pretty well. But yeah, back to the draft, man. The draft was phenomenal. Everybody was having a good time. Shit, even the rival teams, like we didn't have no problem with no Bears fans, Vikings fans, Packers fans. Everybody was pretty cool and chill, man. I can't complain.
Hey, you remember Leo running up to that one Bears fan and playing rock paper scissors with him?
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
That's funny.
He made us
I
look
didn't
bad,
hear about
though.
that.
He made us look bad, though. He took the L.
Yeah,
Oh,
he did.
no, bro. Not
Yeah,
to
we
not to
lost.
start the L's of the Bears, man. We can't do that. Can't do that.
Hey, if it's rock paper scissors and they can get a win out of that, yeah, so be it.
Yeah, I guess if that's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
So. First up on the docket that we want to talk about. Now, hopefully Leo can get in here. Like I said,
Hold up, Sky.
What?
Real quick before we jump into that.
Yeah.
We all said our experience. How was your experience? We all know that you're local, so it was maybe it was different for you for the three of us who came out of town.
So for me, guys, to be honest with you, my experience with the draft, it was better than I expected. To be honest with you, I knew that Detroit was going to turn out, and all that kind of stuff, but we really did. Like, in all honesty, like it couldn't have went better. Like the fans were so excited to get in and just wanted to be a part of everything and be a part of the crowd and the draft itself. Like, and on Saturday, they stormed the gates on one side because there was only like 5 or 6 security guards standing there, and like another couple thousand fans got in.
Oh, that was Saturday? I thought that was the first day, Thursday.
No, that was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, because they on Thursday they did the same thing, because remember how you said you couldn't get back in later? Well,
right.
we were trying to find a bathroom for me, and we went to one area, and they literally the cops opened up an area. They just because they were trying to hop the fence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we lost Leo.
we lost Leo. Yes.
What do you know? What do you know? That's hilarious. No, it was a good time regardless. Like I said, it's better than I thought it was going to be. I'm glad everybody showed out. No bullshit happened. One thing I can't believe, though, and I know you guys seen it too, was the fucking line to Mom's Spaghetti.
Well, when we got there kind of early, and we walked right past that, and Mom's Spaghetti didn't have much of a line. Now, I remember you saying there was a hell of a line by the time that you had rolled in there, but I don't remember. I don't remember seeing a line for Mom's Spaghetti.
And we got there kind of earlier, but I could see by the time he got there, it probably was a big line out there. I'm damn sure we're going to stand in line.
It was crazy. I bet that line, I bet there was people standing in line for that, like at least like 2 hours. No joke. They're literally getting, like, I love M, but like mid spaghetti, waiting 2 hours, bro. Like, it's crazy to me. So, shout out to those people that did that in the middle of that.
I don't even know why we shouting them people out. Don't even shout them out. It was hella food out there that was good. I don't know why they was lining up for that.
For real, there was hella good food all over the place. Especially with, like, if you just walked outside the draft, you had all the downtown food. Like, we ate at Red Smoke on Friday. That was fire. If you haven't been there, that's a fire ass barbecue place downtown, right by Greektown.
Yeah,
like it's.
We went to Basement Burger. That place was freaking awesome.
That was really good.
Yeah, there's just a lot of heat downtown.
Damn, y'all, we didn't get no barbecue while we were up there.
Bro, there is that Red Smoke place right there in the food market area, right there in Greektown is gas, bro.
We tried every genre of food while we were up there. No, none of us thought of barbecue. None of us.
Super fire. But let's jump to it. First person. Let's just talk about. Let's just go in order. Carry on. Thoughts? Because just to get mine out of the way so we can start the conversation. I mean, this was like a lot of people's like dream draft pick in a move up situation. I know that I was high on him. Like, this is exactly what I was talking about in a lot of our drafts, not on this show, but a lot of our other shows, that hey, if we get a chance to go up and get one of these corners that are just, top of the line guys, this is what we want right here. So it's just, I think it's just an amazing damn pick. Amazing pick, period, plain and simple. What are you guys thinking? DaeDae?
I love the pick, man. At first, he wasn't my first choice at corner. I like Quinion a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, the gap between the two were literally the size of, or the thickness of a piece of paper. But I love the pick, man. I think he's going to be an absolute great fit for this team. He does exactly what we want to do on defense from the corner position. He can play press man, but he can also get into the run game. I love it. I think this was another Brad A+ pick in the first round, and this one wasn't a gimme. Like Aiden was a gimme, Sewell was a gimme. Those were all gimme picks. This is like the first pick he actually had to think, okay, who am I going to be able to get here in the later round? And it's by so happens the board fell where we were able to get our guy.
Yeah, what's even crazier to me, and just to add to your point really quick before go on to the next person, is, dude, like the run in the first half of that draft, it couldn't have been a better situation for us. like it couldn't have felt fucking better. I'm sitting there watching that shit, eating fucking red smoke, and I'm like, holy fuck. This is literally just going to run all offense. They're just going to run it up. So
first defensive player didn't go to what, like 15, 14?
Yeah, so what's crazy is like that's exactly what we needed. So it's just another situation where we drafted exactly, like the draft is just falling exactly to our fingertips on what we need. So, Chris, Arnold.
Yeah. So not I mean, obviously Quinion Mitchell and Arnold were the two. Either one of those two would have been ones that I would wanted. I thought, see, my guy, I was thinking without a trade at 29 was going to be Rakestraw, which, wow, lo and behold. But Arnold is fantastic. Like that I would have never thought we were going to be able to get him without giving up a lot. I mean, obviously I think we gave up a third in addition because we had to we had to outbid somebody. So, and I'm not 100% sure on who it was, but I know we had to give up a third. Otherwise, we might have been able to get it for even less than what we initially were going to get him for. But I absolutely love his ability and his tenacity.
No, so my thing with it with the double down, and I don't really want to get too much into it because we're going to talk about him in a minute, but like Brad has, like I said on Twitter, Brad is sick and tired of being sick and tired of worrying about fucking corner. That's what this is, guys. Like it or not, like he did a complete overhaul. He said, okay, listen, this is how we're keeping these games close. Like our defense, if our cornerback room would have just held up a little bit last year, we'd have been fine. Because look at what CeeDee Lamb did to him, and 7 other wide receiver ones in the league. And then we brought in Vildor, and then here we are. And now he's our cornerback 5.
If he even makes a team.
Oh, they resign him. He'll make the team. Kendall's going to be a great backup corner. He might even get reps over Ennis right away, and Arnold right away. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like it or not, like Kendall was good last year. Like, if the Brandon Ayuk play doesn't happen, are we even talking about the motherfucker? Like, seriously, are we even mentioning his name in a conversation of what the fuck was going on at corner last year? Because I remember a guy that came in at week like fucking 8 and played pretty fucking good football throughout the entire rest of the season and throughout the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. What I remember. That's just me. So, Mike, what's your thought, bro?
Man, I love the pick. I love the doubling down too. But going back to the first round pick, when we did our mock draft before the draft, that's who we decided on picking from. We traded up two. I think we wound up giving up a 3rd round pick as well in our mock. And we took Terrion. It was between him and Mitchell. So I'm ecstatic with the pick, man. I'm going to be ecstatic when we talk about Rakestraw, too.
Yeah, he's Rakestraw is we can just move right on to it. He's again, it's a great idea in the situation we were in to double down here for what was on the board. So again, we've seen this time over time where we were doing mock drafts where this man right here in itself was being mocked to us at 29. So to get him and Terrion, okay, for the future, like I if you told me a week ago that we were gonna double down at corner and you didn't give me the names, I'd call you a fucking moron. I'd have called you an idiot. What the fuck are you talking about, buddy? How are we gonna do that? Well, it just so happens that the entire first half of the draft fucking was all offense.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you think we would have got him in the second if that first half of that first round wasn't all offense?
I don't think so. I think the board will have fell a little bit differently, but I mean, still though, man, like just to be able to the way that it did fall to get both of those guys. I mean, you got it to the room that we had. You gotta do that because Carlton's only here for as long as they sign him, and Mick is only on what, a 2-year. So like
2 year, probably 1 year guarantee.
Yeah, so like he could be gone. He could lose his job after this year. I don't think he's going to. I think we're just going to have a solid cornerback room for a little while and some guys on some rookie deals. So I'm okay with that too. We need a good cornerback room. We have a good safety room. Now now Brian Branch could be on the field more. You know what I'm saying? Not be at the line of scrimmage because you got Arnold.
I just hope fans have patience with these 2 rookies coming in, man. They are rookies. We can't expect them to come in and just be all world right away. So I just hope fans are ready to go through just a little bit of growing pains with these 2 rookie corners, no matter how good they are coming out of college.
See, yeah. I think go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, no, I was going to say, no, I completely agree because usually corner takes a little bit longer to develop than most of your positions. So one may hit better than the other. One may learn faster. Who knows? They got to have patience.
Yep.
Leo.
Look who this stopped in. What's going on, Leo? Leo, let me get you in here really quick. So where we're at is we just talked about Terrion. We're talking about the double down situation, how it kind of fell with the first half of the draft is going all offense, so it left us wide open to stack our defense like needed. How this situation is not a bad situation at double downing because of the way the draft fell is our opinion on it. So what's your opinion, man?
I think obviously, and I said this earlier, having 15 offensive guys go, first, I don't think anybody really kind of expected that. We knew the draft was QB heavy, offensive tackle heavy, but I mean, you had a couple QBs in there that I think they were fringe QBs, and we're talking about Bo Nix and Michael Penix. So, I mean, for the Lions, that was great news. I originally thought that those DNs were going to eventually fall for us, and I was kind of thinking that eventually we would wind up probably trading up for one of those guys first, but they went. I think he just played the board. To be honest, I can't tell you if Terrion was ahead of the DNs. I don't know. But what I will say is that he knew exactly, he probably had about 4 or 5 guys that he said, hey, you know what, I'm going to go up and get these guys. And when the board started to fall like it did, and Quinyon came off the board, I think it's like, okay, now, like, let's go get our guy now. And so it just happened to be where, we were able to trade with Dallas, and And to be honest, man, I mean, they were trying to get up into the teens. So, I mean, here the one thing I will say about Brad is that he has, and this is probably a network thing, and this really goes back to his roots as a scout. In the scouting community, you don't really beef with other scouts, you network with them. And I feel like the most amazing thing that Brad has really brought is that he's had a real good pulse about what other teams are going to do. And so he had that pulse, and he kind of played that hand right. And so that's something that needs to be kind of said more often.
No, I agree with you. It's definitely a board situation because he had some guys above Arnold. That was a fact. We all know that. My thing is with it is like exactly what you said. Like he played best player available. What is going to help us right now? And these guys, like it or not, like Arnold is gonna get some looks. He's gonna be able to play. Rake, depends on our situation. He's there for injuries. He's gonna be worked in, things like that. He's gonna get probably some special teams looks, things like that. But I mean, he's a future pick. Arnold's a now pick. So that's my thing with it, Leo. You know, it's like we all started this draft, did we not? Saying, hey, listen, regardless of what happens, there's probably one guy that's actually going to get a lot of playing time that we pick, and it's probably going to be our first round pick. Whoever that is, he's probably going to be the one that's. Everybody else is just going to be developmental and role players. Period. Unless they are just superior going into camp, and because Dan is gonna be with the superior guy. He's just going to pick the better player. So,
well, listen, and that's a real testament to the room now. I mean, when Brad talks about a bloodbath in that room, I mean, you're talking about real competition. I think the best thing that they did, and I know some people were kind of we've already went into Rakestraw, or we're transitioning now, Scott.
Yeah, we are already there. Yep.
Okay. So I know some people were just kind of like, why at first you're doubling down, why did you double down when you just got 2 corners of free agency? And I actually think that was the best case scenario. I don't really blame him for doing what he did in free agency. I thought it was a brilliant move still. Again, he doesn't know that the board's going to fall the way it did, but I just think that again, and I look at it from the lens of like with, how we got Jeff Okudah and how we found out like maybe he wasn't just ready. And I think that with these guys, and this is not a knock on any of them, but what I am saying is that while they get acclimated to real NFL players, I mean, some of these are 28, 29, 30-year-old men. They could give you the business. And while they sit there and if they struggle, you got 2 vets in front of them that could still hold the reins down. And so they're really probably both those dudes, both those corners are really probably in the best situation that they could possibly be in my opinion.
Yeah, they're in a great situation just to develop and just watch pros because they do have 2 decent pros in front of them. Like it or not, Mick and Carlton are good pros. Period. That's why they're signed and that's why they're here. Because they're a lot better than the ones we had last year.
Correct.
So, this is probably one of my favorite picks of the draft and the next one, to be honest with you. Gio, man, Manu, like, yeah. To me,
he's number 76, right? Yep. There we go.
So to me, with this pick, it's not like a right now pick. He's not going to be a guy that I don't think is going to be like right now, start tomorrow, swing tackle type of guy. To be honest with you, they're going to take their time with him. But man, if he develops, he's gonna
be scary. He's gonna be scary, nasty, man.
That is a bigger Penei Sewell.
He's what, 6'8", 350, or is he 6'5", 350? I know he's 350.
6'8", baby.
6'8", 350, and they want him to play No, they want him to play guard.
They want to play guard, so he's athletic as fuck.
Yep.
So
Play guard, a 6'8" guard who can move. He's not just some stiff.
yeah, he's that's see, and you're done. I mean, I see that you're saying that that's a reach. I honestly don't think so. I think it was a perfect spot to pick him, especially with our situation. Like, you got to look at our situation. If we were a team that needed a bunch of shit, yeah, maybe it was a reach. But dude, no one that we picked in the 3rd round right there is gonna get fucking playing time. So you go out there.
We're a revolving door at guard anyway. So why not take another guard just for chance anyway? You know? My bad, Scott. Let me cut you off.
No, you're right. No, my thing about it is you just pick the guy with the biggest upside. And how is that not the guy with the biggest upside?
It is. I mean, you got a guy he's young too, I believe, right? He's what? 21, 22, I believe he's young.
Yeah,
I believe he's young.
Like I said, when you have depth like we do, it's good to reach and like grab things to like, I mean, I want to say reach, but like go out there and get guys that have super high upside. Because we don't need to fill positions like that.
And I totally agree with the upside thing, because if he's done enough to catch the eye of teams in America, you know, and he's playing in British Columbia, not really, and he wasn't in the CFL. I don't believe he was actually in the CFL. And, you know, he's not getting the same kind of coaching that he's going to get here in the NFL. So you put that guy with proper coaching and coaches that know, like we're putting him with Hank Fraley, possibly the best offensive line coach in the league. That dude is going to develop, and he's going to develop quick. I think we see him, honestly, before the end of the year. I do.
No, I think so. I don't think we'll see him by the end of the year. I think we might see him like in preseason, but like he might. I mean, if somebody gets hurt, maybe. But I think we got some people in front of him that'll do their job.
Let's see if he comes out and balls out in camp. You know,
right? I mean, he could. Yeah. You're right about that. So. Sion Vaki.
Hold on, we didn't get everything.
Oh, my bad. No.
Hold on.
You're right. Does anybody else have opinions on this, man? What are we thinking about Gio, everybody?
Over stuff here. Yeah, I'll say Gio, man. I like the pick, man. I like it. I don't think it's too early. Like you said, it was a good point. Like, we don't have many needs. Like, going into this draft, we were saying, like, we're probably not even going to use all those draft picks. We don't even have that many roster spots. So one of the things that we did touch on in the draft outside of the corner and a couple other positions is we did need depth on the offensive line. And I believe they did that in this draft perfectly. So I'm not mad at it.
I mean, with the condensing of like the draft, like we talked about too, like using picks to move up to where we can get players that are going to be actually worth drafting to be developmental and things like that. That's what I think we hit right with. So, Chris, what are you thinking?
Yeah, pretty much what everybody else says. I mean, I was trying to get as much information as I could on him. I mean, I found like a questionnaire that he did through a report. He's really big on family. His dad's his hero, and he moves well in space and punishes anybody in his way. So like that doesn't sum him up in freaking just a few sentences. I mean, I don't know what does, but yeah, I like the pick, definitely.
Yeah, I just think it was a really good pick, to be honest with you. It was very, very useful in that situation. Leo, what you got?
Yeah, he's just to confirm, he is 23 years old. So, but I think if they want to use him, I could definitely see him as at guard. And at first, I will say, Scott, that I didn't really see it because he was 6'8", but you can see that the way he moves. I definitely with 6'8", especially in pass pro, you're talking right in front of, you know, a window that Jared Goff needs, to be honest. But I think that when they want to put him at guard, I think you're looking at a puller. One of the things last year late, the tight end had a issue trying to sit there and reach all the way across the formation. And I think that he can do that. We saw the highlights right now. He's a mauler. So I think that he could pull. I also think that he could reach up to the second level and definitely sweep out, the little guys, the linebacker, the safety. So I think he's going to be useful in that way when we think of him in terms of guard. Obviously, he's a tower of a man over at tackle. And so I think that, to be honest, he's giving Skipper a run for his money for the 6 offensive linemen. So I like the pick. And the thing with 6'8" is that generally 6'8" you can see stiffness, obviously, but with him, like, you see good footwork. You don't see him really that stiff. He gets on his horse and he gets to the person or to the guy that he needs to sit there and block. That's what you like.
No, I agree with you there. I just don't know how they're going to utilize him yet. I think they're going to move him all over the place, especially with now that they're moving with the guard thing. They might be moving Colby back to his natural position at tackle too. So which will bring depth at tackle. So that's if they're using him at guard.
Well, depth was a real issue, right? I mean, Colby was young last year, and so now Colby's got 2 years under him, and he's got some playing time now. They really like the kid. So it's like to have that versatility now as backups. I mean, it's.
And I'm pretty sure Coyote's still on the team, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that too.
Yeah.
He didn't play bad when he did have to play.
So I mean, look, Sky, between the 1s and the 2s, like, they could definitely sit there and spell the 1s, and I'm gonna expect that during camp. I'm gonna expect all those boys to sit there and grow. Especially the guys that have been here. And then we've got a couple of studs that we picked up in the draft. Listen, they really stacked upon this team and really made it really stronger as far as depth. We really got some really good depth. In the event of injuries, they always happen year in and year out. The name of the game, especially when you get to like week 10, is, do you have the depth to sit there and keep on going?
Yep. Which is what they did with both of the positions that we really needed depth at. Do we agree?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So, great job.
And I think that's a perfect segue, Sky, into our next guy.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So our next guy is Sion Vaki. And I gotta admit, man, this was for me personally. This one was
Neil, you're so far ahead, bro. My bad.
Yeah. The Sion Vaki. Yeah, so I mean, this one was a little rough for me. I don't know if they were looking at him as running back or as safety. Obviously, we got the confirmation later that they did view him as a running back. Now, I said all draft season, and people thought I was crazy. I said, you need another running back.
So I agreed with you. I agreed with you.
Right. And for me, Sky, personally, I was looking at late round running backs, and one of the guys that the Chargers got, which I like, was Vidal. And so I thought Vidal would sit there and kind of really kind of take the place of really Monty, because I feel like with Gibbs, you can kind of get Gibbs with, know, kind of with the wiggle with Craig Reynolds, but we don't really have that big back like Monty. And so I was kind of looking at him. But when they went with Vaki and we understood that where they wanted to use him, that made sense to me, especially with the versatility. And so that's, I don't know about you, but that screams special teams to me. So.
No, I mean, you're 100%. I mean, he definitely could. I mean, it screams that he's going to be utilized wherever they fucking need him, Leo. Right? You know, we get a safety injury, here you go. We get a running back injury, here we go. Special teams, definitely, because he's fast as fuck.
Do you remember a guy, CJ Moore? Remember CJ Moore?
Yeah, he was one of the best special team guys that we had.
Look at this kid, because CJ Moore was a safety in college. He was safety in the league. And then he played special teams. And when he ran the ball, he's fucking fast as shit. So I see Sion Vaki being that same type of player.
Is he Booby Miles? Can he pass too?
Yo. I can't play football no more. My knee.
He said, oh, and he can pass too.
I don't know if you guys seen him play safety, but he doesn't look bad.
No, he's
And
not bad at all.
And he will sit there, come up, and pop the crap out of you.
Yeah,
Like,
he likes
would lay
to.
the wood.
That's what I was about to say, Leo. He likes to fucking hit.
Yeah, that boy would lay the wood on you.
Yep.
No
Chris,
diddy.
what's your
No
thoughts
diddy.
on Vaki?
I actually really like him a lot. I was seeing some of his other videos, not just the stuff that we normally have been seeing. I mean, he from what I gather, he was one of the he had a high percentage in breaking tackles. I can't remember the numbers. I had it a little while ago. I can't find it anymore, but he was in the upper like 50%. He didn't run the ball that much, so that gave him the higher percentage. But he breaks a lot of tackles, especially first. But I like him a lot.
Love it. And his burst that we've seen, yeah, that's tough.
Yep.
Tough guy. Yeah, that was Vaki to me, at the end of the day, was another one of those guys that just had such a high ceiling and such a Swiss Army knife. That's exactly what these guys like. That's like the definition of a Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell guy. Is that guy. Mike, what's your thoughts on Vaki? I know you like him. You were talking about him.
Yeah, I like him too. I like everything you guys said pretty much. But I think the number one key is versatility, man. Like, they love versatile players, and this is a player that can play on potentially both sides of the ball here. So, in all three phases, man, defense, special teams, and offense. So, of course, they love that. Like, everybody we have, like, if you look at them, man, they love versatility, whether that's on the offensive line, defensive line, defensive backfield. They love players that can play multiple positions. So I love it, man. Hopefully it develops and he makes some plays for us in all three phases.
I'm guessing this is probably Strilla running nothing but the smoke comment here. They're going to use him as a running back. They confirmed that they drafted him as a running back. They're going to use him as a running back. He's a running back on this team.
See, my thing is I think they're going to use him too for like those trick plays and things like that. But I like what Detroit fan man said too. With the new kickoff rule, I mean, you need two good kick returners. So in the grand scheme of shit, you might see a shift in the roster where you see Maurice Alexander and now with Vaki being our two kick returners now, because you need two guys back there, period. Like, you can't just have one shitty guy, one good guy, and one mid guy back. They'll just kick to the mid guy every time.
Sky, let me stir the pot a little bit. I think that the arrival of Vaki puts Craig Reynolds on the block.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. Here's my thing, Leo. That's a good point there, though. See, my thing with the Craig Reynolds. Yeah, I mean, Craig Reynolds is a locker room guy too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not just like, he isn't making the roster, I think, on just pure talent. He's one of those grit guys that the locker room loves, the coaches love. If you kind of take him out of the situation completely, it might piss some guys off. So and that's what they said when they were, last year when they were about to cut his ass. So I agree with you that there definitely is going to be some competition there. That's for fucking sure. Does Craig Reynolds not make the roster? We've seen it. That's a tough one, buddy. That is a very tough one based on exactly what we watched the video on. There's more to it than just talent, boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what you want. Good teams sit there and don't let those guys like Craig Reynolds, they're darlings. But at the same time, you still need you can't let your darling, right? You can't put them in a bubble either. Like, this is like championship teams create tension here within those rooms. And I think that if you're Craig Reynolds, one of the debates that they're going to have to make when making the 53 is, okay, who does more? Here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that either or. I'm not sitting there saying we're cutting Craig Reynolds. What I'm sitting there saying is that one of them got to go to the practice squad, right? And I saw that.
Not really.
Somebody said Bam Knight and all that stuff. But I'm just sitting there saying, like, you got to during game day. I think you're holding out of the 53. You're holding 5 to 7 back.
Mm-hmm.
In game day,
Usually 5.
So I mean, you're gonna have to. We're at a place, in a good place too, with the roster where you're gonna have to hold back a good guy. I mean, we saw this last year with Sterling Thomas, right? Like we cut a good player. Like we're at that level now.
Yeah.
I want to jump in on that. So I think Craig Reynolds. I think Craig Reynolds is still going to be on the team. Like I think this is probably going to be like, if they want to use him at running back, this is him and Craig probably going to be 3 and 4. Like I think we should be talking more so about like guys like Bam Knight. Like I saw another comment in the chat that said it was 7 running backs ahead of Vaki. Maybe right now on paper, but I don't believe that's how it's going to shake out. Like if you heard how Brad was talking, he did a presser after every day of the draft. Like if you heard how he was talking about Vaki, he spent 99% of the time talking about him as a running back and how intrigued he was with him playing running back. And he said it multiple times that he didn't even major in running back, meaning that he just did it just as to help out the team. Like he's not a real running back, and he was impressed with the snaps that he's seen. So I think he's obviously going to get a shot, man, because Brad was just glowing about talking about him at the running back position. Barely said anything about the safety pretty much.
But Mike, my thing is like we know Brad. If he's the guy, if he's a guy, he's a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like if he goes out there, plays hard-nosed football, he's gritty. Like they say, like locker room guy, goes out there and plays special teams, all these positions, and he's a glowing running back, like Mike said. Like he's definitely going to make the roster. And so could Craig. That's the thing. They could run that many running backs because technically they could list him as something else. So that's the real thing about that. Because what if they don't sign another safety?
I totally agree. I just wanted to touch on the running back point because there was people in the comments saying that they don't view him as a running back. If you heard Brad at his presser, he definitely sees him as a running back. If you listen to
no, they're just wrong about that.
That's all I was. That's all I was saying.
You're right about that, Mike.
And that's why I think people like that can be active, just like Rodrigo. Rodrigo can be active because he's a linebacker. He plays on special teams, and he can play at fullback. Same thing with this Vaki kid. If he can play special teams at safety and running back, he's going to be active, bro. That's 3 different positions right there.
Yeah, that's why the one of the other running backs that I really liked in this draft was he's not really versatile, but I mean the dude that San Francisco drafted. Love that guy. Big as fuck, like 220, runs like a 4.3 something.
Who did they draft? Oh, you talking about running back?
Yeah, he's a monster.
Hold on.
Where'd he go?
San Francisco.
No, what school did he go to?
Oh, what school did he go to? I'm not even gonna guess. I'm totally blanking on him right now.
Okay. I have no idea.
Somebody in the chat might know who I'm talking about instantly. If they're running back fans.
There's Trey Brinson, Jonathan Brooks, the kid out of USC. I can't remember his name. I think
it's the late round one. It's the bigger one. There's a big ass dude that they drafted.
Hey,
You're not
I got it. I don't know if I can pronounce his name correctly, but it's Isaac Garendo. He's a 6 foot. He's a 6 foot, 221 pound running back.
Yeah, what's his 40?
4.
Is that the kid out of Louisville?
4.33.
Yeah, that's the kid out of Louisville.
Yeah. He started in Wisconsin and transferred to Louisville.
Dude, 220, 6 foot, running 4.3, and fucking
vision, no sky.
Dude, listen. Vision goes out the fucking window when it's 2 degrees and you're playing in Green Bay, dog.
Well, look, I will sit there and be the one to tell you that the first thing you got to look for, and especially in these zone schemes, is you got to have vision. I mean, it's really what's kind of hindered DeAndre Swift. So, I mean,
what I heard when I heard them talking about him in San Francisco talking about him was that they were going to use him as like basically a huge check. Like he can catch, the ball, and all kinds
he
of
takes
shit.
over the Jeff Wilson role. Remember Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson was just as big.
Yeah, I'm just saying, dude. That is a big ass dude running really fast. He is 2 steps away from gone every single time. So
Hey Neil,
that's all I'm saying.
How many viewers do we have right now that are live? You guys can do us a favor. If you are watching on Twitter, if you can go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe and to our channel, that would sit there and help us tremendously.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Like and subscribe.
Next on the list, Wingo.
Makai Wingo.
What is our thoughts on that big gentleman? I think he's developmental, but I think that he could be nasty in times. He could. I think he could be a decent threat in the middle if he can put it together.
I see Cam Jordan. How New Orleans used Cam Jordan, both on the inside and outside. I love the pick. I think as long as he can develop, I think that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like their Cam Jordan.
Yeah. So my thing with this is I always don't mind us, like especially when it comes to undrafted guys and things like that. Anybody out of the SEC, like come on down, bro. You're the contestant on fucking get a roster spot. You know. So Leo, what's your thoughts on this guy?
You're on mute, Leo.
You're muted, Papa.
Sorry. I like his first step. I think he has quicks. He's a penetrator for sure. And so he's going to push the middle of the pocket. Some things I don't like is I think that when he gets stopped, he's done. You wish that he uses his hands just a little bit more, and he's able to, have a couple of different moves to him. So that's something that he's definitely got to sit there and develop. But I definitely sit there and see him in a third down role. LSU did play 3 down linemen, and he played at the D end. He kind of almost looked like, I'm not saying he's him, but he did kind of play that Aaron Donald role, so to speak. But he's just got to put a little bit more pass moves to him, and he'll be just fine.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what are you thinking about Wingo?
Yeah, I like his burst out. I like his burst, like Leo said. He does have to refine a little bit of his skills. I guess that would be the same thing. I mean, against complex schemes, he's a little slow, and he takes a little bit more time to get around guys. I mean, I like him. I'm not neither great on him or downing on him. I'm like right in the middle. I like him.
He's where we need depth. Period.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the pick whatsoever. If it works out, it works out. We appreciate your service regardless, Wingo. Mike.
Yeah, I agree with pretty much what you guys said. Like, I like him. I like his birth and athleticism. I think he's going to be a guy to develop. He's probably going to be like a Kaminsky replacement. So I think he's more so in that vein, not like he won't be like a starter guy that they're depending on snap to snap. But I like him when he was at the end. I was watching Brad's presser, and that's when he said they pretty much he piqued their intrigue when they started seeing the DN snaps and how powerful he was at the end. So they like guys like that, and he's versatile, could play inside, outside. So not mad at it. Late round pick that could potentially turn out to be a solid, maybe decent rotational piece.
Yeah, if he can just is a good role player, that'd be 100% win for us.
He's pretty twitchy for a big man.
Right.
And I think that that's not a guy that we currently have on the roster. Generally, that line is got length. They're big dudes. They want to hold up the run. But this guy's a little bit shorter, and he could sit there and he's just twitched up. So they definitely don't have that guy. So he definitely brings kind of a unique skill set. He could kind of spell Aleem, in that role, and then he's versatile. A lot of times you see him on stunts in his games, and so I definitely sit there and think that those third down packages are going to come into play for him.
No, for sure.
Yeah, especially I think he's much faster than Aleem though. I think that's going to be a big difference. He's going to come in, and the guy that's guarding him is just he's not going to know what to do. He's going to be so quick to that first step. I think that'll be a plus.
Yeah, is you done? So, like, the one thing about Ringo too is that you see a lot, especially when he's kind of on the interior. I love that he locks out. He strong arms. He definitely knows how to strong arm. He's really good at it. And so a lot of times you won't see him get out of position. When he's in specifically in a pass rush, sometimes he kind of turns his back a little bit, and I think it kind of works against him. But he's very stout, especially with his strong arm. So I love it.
So, with that being said, regardless, because if that's true, what is done, you're done said is second run defense great. I mean that's it. That just goes exactly along with what we need, anyways. They like run defense. They want to have a steady run defense. That's just what they're looking for. Period. Plain and simple. With that being said, hey, I like the fit. I really do. So, Christian Mahogany. Well, what are we thinking?
My God,
Leo, you seem excited.
Yeah, man. The dude could sit there and start now. He showed out really at the Shrine Bowl. He was actually one of the first players that kind of started to really pop at the Shrine Bowl. And I mean, he's just a mauler. He'd probably take over that big V role where he's just nasty. He's going to reach you, and he's going to do nasty things to you. So I mean,
no diddy.
Yeah, no diddy.
No diddy.
I mean, but he's that grit player. He's that dog, and I'm telling you, man, like they got a good one. Especially what did we get him at 6th round, Scott?
Yep, 6th round, 210.
Oh my God! Like I couldn't believe that he fell that far. He wasn't. I mean, on the PFF board, I mean, he was going around 4th. You know what I mean? Like, so to get him in the 6 is like, man, like that's money all day. And we're not talking, he's not a fringe player for guard. Like you're literal, like him and Kobe are probably, like true guards. We're not talking about a versatile player here. We're talking about from guard to guard, he could probably cover you.
Yeah, so there's our interior line depth right there then.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. So where like you said, where does this fit in though? So who is what, where, how, and when? With the depth here, with how we're doing this.
So in my opinion, I think that you're gonna do Skipper, Manu backups, right? I think you're gonna do Sorsdale and what's his name? The kid that we're talking about. I can't say his last name.
Mahogany.
Yeah. So we're doing so, and I think that they're going to be solid guards, and just play guards. What I don't know is probably who's your backup center. I think Sorsdale can sit there and play center. But
Glasgow can rotate in the center if we need to.
Yeah. But I think you got legit guards, and I think you got legit tackles. I'm telling you. The depth on the O-line was a real concern, and they covered it. Seriously. They got legit players. That's a legit 6th round pick right there, man. Don't sleep on that kid.
Okay, anybody gonna say anything? Awkward silence.
My
Wait,
bad.
Scott
My
was
mic
talking.
was muted. My bad. No, what I was saying is like, no, what I'm saying is the fit was great. That's exactly what we talked about in the O-line situation. Is we that's why people wanted us to draft in a guard in the first round. You know what I'm saying? If it fell to us and that was the right position. So, with that being said, if this guy's gonna fit that well, and I hope he does, then we have a future starter here, and then we don't have to really worry about when Graham goes and all this shit, or if somebody gets hurt and whatever it is. We have depth at that line position. Period. Plain and simple now with him, Coyote, Skip, fucking uh, Gio, all these guys. We have the depth now. We have the depth at all positions. We filled corner. Now we're done talking about all the draft picks. We filled corner. We filled O-line. We filled DN, I guess to say. We got, you know what I'm saying? We so the only thing we didn't fill in the situation was wide receiver. So what is the next step here? And before we do that, time out really quick. I see this Detroit fan said, time out though. What is the story about why Mahogany fell to the 6? Have you all heard about his legs aren't the same length? That sounds kind of wild, right? That would be weird, and I don't know if that would be beneficial or not. Does that make him like have like a stout stance, like, you know what I'm saying, like a more sturdy base because he can like peg leg like one
Yeah.
side? I don't know, like
He
how
leans a
does
little
that
bit to
work?
the left, Sky, so they're gonna put him at left guard. I'm just bullshitting, fool.
Oh no, like no, that's
Wow.
what I'm
No,
saying.
you're
That's
tripping.
and if that's true, that's wild, right? If that's a story, that's wild, Detroit, man. That's crazy, but I don't think that one's
I
true.
seen that.
If that is
I
true,
seen
that's
that
wild.
same story today. Yeah, one leg
That's
is shorter than
why
the other.
we'll figure that out then. That'll be in the Detroit press sometime next week. So we'll let them figure that one out. I don't want to go down that road.
I do think I did hear reports that he did fall because of medical reasons.
So if that's the case, we'll see. I mean, that's another Brad Holmes special though. So
Yes.
Right,
that's
home special.
what he does.
Same thing with Rakestraw. Isn't Rakestraw like coming off an injury too? Wasn't he hurt in the
Yeah.
combine? That's why
Yeah,
he
I
didn't
think
test
so.
so well.
Yep. From the combine. Yep.
That's why he didn't test so well. So that's probably why he fell too.
Oh hell yeah, Detroit fan. So if that is so if it is medical reasons, hey, I mean that's what it says. Well, we'll figure it out then. I mean, what's your opinion on it then? You know, because my opinion on it is that as long as he blocks well, I don't really care. That's my thing. I don't know how you feel about it. Because he had if it was that bad, how is he still playing? You know,
Right.
like what is the deal here? Really? Which we'll find out more for sure. But it's like
As of right now, it don't really
yeah.
matter.
Yeah, that'll be shaky for sure on turf that he has to play on now. But the two things that we really were other things that we were talking about that we could possibly get in the draft that we were all excited for was wide receiver or DN. We didn't either.
Nope.
What's your thoughts?
I don't know.
Shows we don't know anything, man. Really?
They did.
No, they did not draft a wide receiver or a DN.
Not really. I mean,
I
I don't think we really felt like as a consensus that we needed a DN in the draft. Like an X wide receiver would have been nice, but I mean, I think we got DPJ in that spot, and I think it's a couple guys out there in free agency that we can still pick up. They said we were interested in Tyler Boyd earlier in the free agency. That could be a guy we still sign. DJ Chark is still out there. That's another X receiver that we could bring in, and he'd be fairly cheap. So I man, the value was too good at cornerback back to back. Man, I'm not mad at it in the slightest. And before the draft, like on the shows I was on, I was telling y'all, like, if you look at the D line room, it's pretty much set, man. It's pretty much set. Like,
I agree.
it's gonna be a couple guys that don't make it, or maybe they get put on the practice squad. Maybe we can save them there, unless another team picks them up, put them on their roster. But if you go line to line, both the ends and both the tackle positions, man, you can map out who's going to be on the D line.
So no, I agree with you. I agree with you, to be honest with you. I think our D line room is set, especially with the off season signings and everything like that. I think our DN room is completely locked up right now. And well, not our DN room, but just our D line room, I should say. It's completely locked up right now. So anybody else, Chris, what's your opinion on what's going on here? What are your thoughts? Wide receiver DN situation.
I mean, I think DPJ is going to probably end up being that. I mean, there also could be a free agent because free agents. So once it's all set now you're probably going to get the back end free agent wave. So if there's any X wide receiver out there, maybe they'll give them a go. We did get. I mean, we're going to come to a. I mean, we didn't sign any undrafted free agent X wide receivers. So, but we did get one or two. But who knows? I mean, there could be we could get another one into the camp for a camp body, but I think we maybe stick with who we have.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. That is 100% what I think is going to happen. DaeDae?
I wanted to walk away this draft with X wide receiver. That was the only thing I said. I don't want to say disappointed, but like kind of like puzzled a little bit. Why we didn't at least draft one even really late? But the DN, I mean, we sit here and say all of us say Hutch needs a partner. Well, I think this team believes in the DNs that we have. I mean, it's pretty evident after the draft. But yeah, I'm okay with how it turned out, minus the X wide receiver not being there.
Yeah, my thing is, like I said, I wanted an X wide receiver too, but the way it kind of fell to us, like it kind of worked out great, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's another. I mean, I'm sure they had 2 or 3 strategies going in here. Okay, we want to maybe attack this offensively, and then the guards and the corners late. But it, like you said, it so happened to turn out that boom, defense was the last thing to come off the board in the first round. We had no choice but to go up there and get the best corner.
You know, I wonder if X wide receiver was ever on their board to begin with. Just wondering.
I mean,
I think it could have been, but I just want to touch on free agency again. Like, it's not over. It's a lot of good free agents out there. It's a lot of good. So we still need safeties too. Like, it's a lot of good safeties out there. It's a lot of good receivers out there. Like I said, like if we could get a guy like Tyler Boyd or bring DJ Chark back, that X receiver or whatever receiver, like it won't even matter. That discussion won't even matter anymore.
no, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I just hope one thing I just really hope out of this is DPJ, because how good of a blocker he actually is in our run game and everything like that. Like he can just put that X position together. Like if he can just put that together for us, like we don't have to even think about another guy because he blocks so fucking well. I mean, that's the entire reason he got reps last year, because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why we traded for him. That's why we traded for him too.
And now he has a full offseason in the system, so he should be much more acclimated this season than he was at the end of last season.
Absolutely, I hope that turns around. So my thing now is I don't really want to go through every one of these guys individually right now. I want to do standouts here. Out of all the guys that are undrafted free agents, okay? Out of all them guys, Neil, if you want to go through and just click through all of them so we can watch the films on all of them really quick that you have put together, of the ones that you do have put together, you can do that. But out of any of the guys that are the undrafted guys, who is your guys is like, I want to look out for this guy because he is probably going to make the roster? Leo, start with you.
Yeah, I got to go Isaiah Williams. I mean, they gave him, I believe they gave him $200,000 guaranteed to So I mean, they obviously clearly wanted him. And I believe that he was one of the first UDFAs that they signed. I know that at the combine he ran like a 4.6. Later at his pro day, he ran a 4.5. I mean, but the kid has alignment versatility, and to be honest, maybe we're putting too much stock on the X receiver. I had this thought, I know that we were looking at it from the stance of DJ Shark when he was here, but one of the ways that you could combat the X receiver is with speed, in which you have that in JMO now. So, I mean, with that being said, we do a lot of movement in our alignments, and so you need route runners, and so they will definitely kind of be pro that receiver. And so, I mean, he's only 5'10", 180 pounds, but he does play inside, outside, and he does have a full route tree. So plus the money that you're giving him, so he's got competition back there. Antoine Green and some of those other boys, DPJ. That he's got to beat out. But I think you're looking at what can you do on special teams. So obviously they like him enough to sit there and bring him in. He's a good yak guy. Lions receivers definitely have to get yak. They don't want their running backs and receivers to go down on first contact. So that's a big plus for Isaiah Williams.
No, so my thing is that, I mean, that might be the thing they're just stacking. It's so weird because we don't really know what their next plan is with, like you said, with their wide receiver, because they might be just thinking that JMO and Amon-Ra and Laporta are going to be the options. Like they're just going to work it that way, and everybody else is going to get the scraps. So if that's what it's going to be, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. That just means JMO is going to get more looks, which I'm happy with. I think we need him to get more looks, because this offense would be way more explosive if he got a 15-yard dig with room to run instead of fucking Josh Reynolds. So I have no clue what they're gonna do. We're in a weird situation. Would you not agree?
Yeah. Do you guys remember? Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys remember Jamal Agnew?
Yeah.
He would be very similar to Jamal Agnew.
Then we got a couple guys like that, because isn't that Duke guy isn't he just like Jamal Agnew too? Calhoun or whatever. That to me, like those dudes, that's what you're saying. Then those dudes might be being drafted for special teams, like kick returners and shit like that, because they got to find two of them with this new fucking kick rule.
Right.
You got to find two guys. You got to find two guys that can run around with the rock.
Wow, you know what? I completely forgot about the kick rule, Sky. You make a really, really good point.
Yeah, Jalen Calhoun did a lot of punt and kick, or I think mostly kick returns, but he did occasionally punt returns. But he did a lot of kick returns in college.
Wait. I gotta address this really quick, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah.
He don't care about that role. What the fuck are you talking about? Dan Campbell literally sits there and says that he is literally like his number one fucking team is special. So like the most important thing that
he's talking about the X receiver role.
Oh, gotcha. I was like, what the fuck?
I do want to touch on that, because I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I mean, he might be half right about that though.
I don't think that's true. I think, I mean, if that was true, they wouldn't have brought DJ Chark and they wouldn't have brought DPJ here. Like, those are X receivers. Those can be used as X receivers. DPJ didn't really matter last year because he's coming to the team at the end of the season and he doesn't even know the fucking playbook or the players or the quarterback. So we'll be able to gauge more what he can do in the passing game in that role this year after having a full offseason. But you definitely need that role in this offense. I know guys don't think you need it, but you definitely need it. I'm sorry. Like, offense was great last year. This was just like it was the year before. Like, we were top 5 both years. I think at 5 both years. I just looked it up, passing offense per game. I think we averaged like 9 and 10 more yards passing per game than we did last year. So still fairly good, efficient offensive numbers. But it was just a different level, different feel in the offense when we have somebody that can stretch the field vertically. And not only with speed, but with height, and that can come down with 50-50 balls. You definitely need that in this offense.
We 100% need it.
And the red zone threat on top of that. and we know we struggled in the red zone. Like we literally been spamming Jamal Williams and David Montgomery, and then if that doesn't work, then we're having all kind of issues in the red zone scoring wise. So we definitely need more red zone targets. Wish that would be an X receiver.
Right. So my thing about it is now, Mike, is my half truth about what Dunn is saying is that I don't think they're going to take a bunch of resources and invest in that position. They're just going to do a bunch of cycle of people until they hit.
Wait, let me see. This is what I agree with you on that, Sky. I don't think X receiver is a need, but it wasn't as big as a need as the DB room.
Right. Exactly.
It just wasn't. So
exactly.
With the way the board fell, like if it would have fell differently, like let's say it would have been like half and half offense and defense in the top 15 picks. We know it wasn't because it was 99% offense in the top 15 picks. It was only one defender taken. So if the board shook out differently, it might have been differently for us in what we drafted because you can only take what the board has, especially if you can't move up. Like they said, Brad was trying to move up into the teens. He wound up moving up to 24. But to get to this, he's saying, why didn't they draft Leggett? Leggett is not even an X receiver. I've been saying this all draft. Sky, you've been saying the same thing.
Yep.
He's not even an X receiver, but people love Leggett so much they're making him an X receiver. I like him. I think he's solid. I think he can have a really good career. But when we're talking about X receivers, Leggett was never on my board as an X receiver. Never.
Yeah, I think he's a good solid receiver. I don't know what you classify him really as yet. Because I think he can play all over the fucking place. The one thing that people forget about that X receiver spot, I mean, that dude is also really, really fucking fast. So technically his big ass could be playing Z. All I fucking know. Because you got to remember, they just drafted Mingo last year. That's a fucking X. So what, you just run out there with two X's? Fuck it.
No.
So like, what are we doing then? Adam Thielen and the boys? Like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my point. Like, basically, you got two guys out there that are going to play both sides of the ball that are just receivers. Like, you can't categorize them in that offense.
Yeah, I think I think people just I don't know. I don't think they know that the receiver positions. I think they just think any receiver that's good is considered an X receiver, but it's really not. Like J-Mo, I love J-Mo, but he's not an X either. Like he's following up right now saying move J-Mo to the X. He's not an X receiver.
Yeah, we want J-Mo moving around all over the field. That's absolute. So, hey, anybody else have any other impact fucking guys out of this draft that they truly are in love with, like on the undrafted ones?
No, not really.
I'm over here waiting for Neil to sit there and pop
Gas
out of
up his
nowhere
boy.
and talk about his Ohio
My boy
State
from Ohio State. Y'all skipping on him. Don't try to skip over my man. Play it again. Hold on. You better talk about that boy right there. I better talk about that boy right there.
So what's crazy? What's
Even though
crazy is
I'm
like
with a bunch of Michigan and Michigan State alumni on here. I'm just saying. Give my man his credit. I'm just saying.
Stop it, bro.
That boy, he always around the ball.
what's crazy
Short
is like
tackler.
I was actually gonna mention that
I'm
for
just
you,
saying, with
Neil.
him, you better tell Rodrigo watch his spot.
No,
I
so
love Rodrigo better watch his spot with that boy right there. I'm gonna get back off camera. I'm sorry.
no. I see.
Oh wait. Oh.
To answer that question, me not necessarily with these undrafted guys. Like I think this is not the Lions for like 3-4 years ago. It's gonna be hard to crack the roster, man. It's gonna be hard to crack the roster as an undrafted guy. I'd be shocked if we had one or two that crack the roster.
Right. No, I agree with you. That it's going to be tough for him, but I was actually going to mention him as well. I like Steel Chambers. And the only reason I do like him is because he is like one of the newer style linebackers. He's a sideline to sideline kind of smaller linebacker. Like that's what he is. You know what I'm saying? So like he can be out there. I honestly rather probably have him out there right now in pass coverage than Rodrigo. No offense.
Rodrigo can't pass coverage anyway.
I mean, he can, but it's not like he's good for 5 yards. After 5, it's torched. So the dude's 5'10". Like he's a liability in the middle of the field too. You just throw over the fucking top of him. There's nothing you don't even have to layer it very well. You just so like I don't mind it. The center out of Florida, that's a fucking pretty good fucking pickup. Like I said, more O-line depth. The edge out of Ole Miss, again, more depth. And a bunch of other guys.
He's nice.
Did we get a kicker in there too or some shit?
Yeah, we signed the kicker from that
Michigan?
that fucking school, man.
Yeah, Michigan. Yeah, James Turner. So they're trying. They're keeping comp up, which is extremely nice. So, all right, boys. Now, draft is over. We're not going to go in depth with this, but draft is over. We had a great weekend. Now, what's next for the off season? Just real quick. Like, boys are getting ready, obviously. Any quick things that we're going to see here in the next month that you can predict right now that the Lions are going to do moves to? Maybe free agents, maybe, some chatter, whatever you think. Let's give the people something.
Well, you got post June 1st cuts coming up, so there's that. You got minicamp coming up. I'm just trying to track here. I know that they got a couple tryout players coming in. I believe they have a QB coming in. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on. You still got decent free agencies out there. You got a couple safeties out there that are pretty damn decent. You still have receivers out there for sure. I know I saw the chat going off about Tyler Boyd and a couple of those other receivers. You still got Stephon Gilmore, I believe, still out there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still guys that you can easily pick up, and the Lions have the money to do it.
Right. No, I agree with you. One thing I was going to say coming up here that you can look out for really is I think that they might make moves on like another wide receiver possibility. I think that you could see kicker possibility moves. Who knows? There's a couple of different things that they could honestly do in this situation. But just look for it because Brad's always moving and grooving when it comes to fucking this free agent shit. So welcome to the Brad Holmes game show, I guess to say, because it's always fun to see him in this time because he's just always cooking.
So, he's good at what he does.
Great at what he does.
Yep.
So, boys, anything else that we missed tonight? What do we miss?
I think we covered it all.
Like I said, I'm gonna end it at we had a fucking phenomenal weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fucking thanks Detroit. Thanks everybody. Thanks the Pat McAfee show, the NFL Network shows, the game day, all that shit. It was good. It was a good time.
Yeah, and shout out to Brody's on Cass over at Waterford, the breakfast spot. Really appreciate you guys. Really took care of us the last 2 days when we were there, or Thursday, Friday. So we really appreciate you guys for taking care of us. We had a fun time. The staff was super cool. Shout out to the three-legged goat. Look, if you are watching and you work for the three-legged goat, we truly appreciate you. It was cold that night, and you guys got us into the bar, and it was warm and stuff like that. But shout out to your guys' staff. We really appreciate the hospitality there. Detroit was so good to Detroit Fan Report. I got to sit there and say, and they really took care of us. Phenomenal week.
Yep. And just remember, guys, too, to add to what Leo's saying is, a lot of these guys that are on this, on this show are Lions fans from out of town. Like Leo's from California. Mike lives in Arizona. Chris lives in Georgia right now. DaeDae lives in Georgia right now. like we're Neil lives in Ohio. I am right now currently probably the only person besides Thrilla, and Rumble lives in Arizona. Rumble lives in Florida. So and then me and Thrilla and Tori are the only ones that live in Michigan. So we're all over the place supporting. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate the hospitality all around. It was great. And shout out to you guys. Like last thing I want to say here before we get off here. Shout out to all you guys listening and shit, man, and tuning in and all this shit and going through the bumpy road with us and all these things. We're getting it down for you guys. We're gonna continue to push out good content for y'all and just keep growing from here, man, because we're just trying to show love to Detroit and get Detroit fans another show or a group of shows, because we're trying to put out a bunch of different shows a week for you guys, so you guys got other content to watch besides the same old shit, because I know a lot of you guys are feeling the same that we do. Is like we need more love and things that nice things, people talking nice things and doing nice things about Detroit and the Lions and Pistons, even though they suck, and Tigers and Wings. So let's make sure you guys at the end of the day, best thing you can do for us right now is like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Hit that follow button on our Twitter, on our Instagram, on our Facebooks, and all that stuff, so we can keep on moving and grooving, guys. So we appreciate you guys for real.
One thing, Sky, is that I didn't realize like how much, really, to be honest, how much we were appreciated. And I got to sit there and say to all of you guys that take the time to sit there and even watch these either live or at a later time, we appreciate you. Genuinely sit there and appreciate you. Again, we had so much love when we all went down there, and without you guys, we're just a bunch of dudes sitting there talking about our opinions. But when we got a chance to sit there and do the live show, I don't think it really kicked in until we actually kind of saw the amount of people that were actually watching us. And so we, again, from the bottom of our hearts, we truly, truly appreciate you guys. You guys are definitely something that we don't take for granted.
Hell yeah.
And I apologize if things was like a little bit off today. I'm at work still, so.
Go back to work, Neil. You're good. We're shouting out Detroit Fan Report, fucking at Lions Fan Report, man. Everybody, the fans of all of our fucking reports, man. We appreciate you guys. Because we do this shit for everybody to make sure everybody's got everything they need when it comes to Detroit shit and have fun with it. So, all right. On to the next show. We will see you guys soon. We have another show, I think, Friday. Is it?
Friday.
Hey, Sky, did you guys give the video and shout? Because I disappeared for like 2 minutes. Did you guys give a shout out to the 2 restaurants and everything?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, we did.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yes, sir, we did. And again, we appreciate them for the hospitality because it was so fucking awesome.
Yep.
So, all right. Next show is Friday, and then we got one Sunday, I'm pretty sure. So make sure you guys join us back for another app. And we'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.
Go Lions.